Earlier this year, sometime in July, the President of the Republic of Ghana, indeed the Ministry of Environment, they put a ban on plastics like they did in Kigali some time ago. Now, the caveat was that the plastics in this country must reach, the least of them must be 20 microns. I'm told that that portion has been struck out for whatever reason. It's November, and the deadline was that by 1st November, we're supposed to have this so-called 20 microbes produced in this country. For us as consumers, the ones we see on the market are the same. And the question is it the plastics that are actually the problem, or is this an attitudinal change? What could we do differently to make the situation better? Well, I've been joined by the Programs Director of Plastic Waste Management Program in Ghana, and his Kranchi Ni Adamatete. Kranchi, welcome.
Thank you.
Pleasure to have you here.
Yeah, thank
welcome.
You.
Let's do the TV Africa welcome. Do the Fruit Telly welcome. Pick your. Unfortunately, I didn't bring a calabash for you. You didn't tell me you were coming. Cheers. It's natural.
Yeah.
It's tasty and everything.
Yeah.
So, the president made a call. Everybody was taken aback. Well, why would the president say that? Because I thought that people could lose their jobs and all of that. 1st November was supposed to be the deadline. Yeah. Did we hit it, or it was just like the Millennium Development Goals, we couldn't hit it?
No, I think this time around the Ministry of Environment is very serious with this issue. The other aspect, that is the 20 micron, has been suspended.
Okay.
Because the introduction of the oxo-biodegradable additive seems to deal with that aspect of the 20 micron.
Okay.
So it has been dealt with. But this time, this is not just like any one of those directives that will be put on the shelf.
Okay.
The ministry is following through with this, and all stakeholders are also very serious about this issue because of the menace that the plastics have posed to the environment in time past.
When you say the stakeholders, who are you talking about?
Yeah, basically, we're talking about the sachet water producers.
Okay.
You are talking about the Ghana Plastic Manufacturers Association.
Okay.
You are talking about the ice water sellers.
Okay.
You are also talking about the Ghana Journalists Association. We're talking about the Ministry of Environment, Ministry of Local Government, and then the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. These are the various stakeholders that have been engaging on this plastic waste issue for some time now.
What happens to the market from the pure water seller, the Gary photo seller? Those people, they use plastics on a day-to-day basis. I mean, they are not part of your stakeholders.
Yeah, that's why we have the ice water sellers, because, you know...
But the ice water sellers don't sell Gary.
Yeah, they don't sell Gary, but, you know, the most prominent one, if you go around, the most prominent one that is around is the sachet water.
Okay.
And that has been the focus of all the solutions that we have sought to bring up. So basically, the sachet water producers are part of us, and then the ice water sellers are also part. But we also engage with the market women and the ice water sellers, because at the end of the day, we tell them that if you put a plastic bin by your side, whatever you sell and you put in, you can sell that waste for recycling.
Okay.
So those are some of the dimensions that we bring to play.
The 20 microbes that has been suspended, I'm sure it's suspended, but I want to explore that angle a bit.
Yeah.
What is that 20 microbe thing?
Yeah, basically it's in a common balance, the thickness of the plastic.
Okay.
That is all that it is. It's the thickness of the plastic.
Okay.
So you have the plastic that you use to sell cocoa, that the cocoa sellers use, the Gary sellers use.
Exactly.
That is a different thickness from the other plastics.
What microbes is that?
That could be below 20 micron. That could be around 15 micron.
Okay.
So those are the targets for. And then also you have some of the black carrier bags, which also when you look through, you can see through.
Okay.
Even though it's black, you can still see through. And those are the ones that are fall below the 20 micron.
Okay.
You have the ones that are much thicker, some of the shopping bags, the colored shopping bags.
Exactly.
Even the sachet water that we have is above the 20 micron thickness.
Okay.
So it is basically about the thickness, if we want to explain it for the ordinary Ghanaian to understand. So it was focused on actually banning up to a certain level of thickness. That is the 20 micron that was, but you know, that has been suspended.
Plastic Waste Management Project Ghana. Is it state arm or is it a private thing?
No, it's a public-private partnership amongst the private stakeholders and then the public stakeholders.
Okay.
When I talk about the public stakeholders, you are talking about the AMA, the Ministry of Local Government,
Okay.
the Ministry of Environment. We are talking about the private sector stakeholders. Then you are talking about the sachet water producers. You are talking about the ice water sellers. You are talking about the plastic manufacturers. And you are talking about all businesses that does not have a direct linkage with government. So these forces have come together to deal with the plastic waste. And the reason for coming together is basically because, you know, somewhere in 2007, there was an attempt to place a ban on sachet water
Yeah.
within Accra
Yeah.
and its environs. And then the producers realized that that could affect their businesses. And then government also realizes that it will also lead to people losing their jobs, creating an unemployment problem. So the stakeholders came together and said, instead of placing a ban
Okay.
on the sachet water, why don't we turn the plastics into a commodity that could benefit everybody? Because plastics are a very good material. So if you can recycle the waste, then people can collect it, thereby creating more employment.
Okay.
So that was the focus, and that was the reason why these stakeholders came together.
Okay, the stakeholders came together.
Yeah.
Then I'm thinking to ask, when you came together, what did you find? That the problem is with the plastics, or the problem is with the attitude of the people who use the plastics?
Yeah, over time, it has been established. Plastics themselves do not litter.
Okay.
If the plastic is produced in the factory, for example, if an individual does not take it out and throw it out, it doesn't litter.
Okay.
Just like any other product, like a car, for example, if a car is manufactured to facilitate transportation,
Yeah.
to facilitate mobility, but if the drivers of the cars overspeed, then it could lead to fatality, it could lead to people dying. It's the same way with plastics.
Okay.
If we, the human beings, do not handle it well, then it becomes a problem.
Okay.
So it is much more of a human-induced problem that we have to contend with.
But so why does it become the problem of the, manufacturers, for example?
Yeah, you see, every manufacturer in this age and time must be environmentally conscious.
Okay.
And we are moving towards a sustainable environment because the whole human race is threatened because of the trajectory that we are on.
Okay.
If we continue littering, at the end of the day, the plastic manufacturer is also a human being who has to go to the beach to relax. The plastic manufacturer also has kids who have to go to the parks to play.
Yeah.
A plastic manufacturer can even decide to be a farmer who has to plant. So if the plastic is all over,
Okay.
it comes back to affect the manufacturer.
True.
Even though in the process of manufacturing, he or she might have made profit from plastic manufacturing, it goes to affect the whole environment.
Exactly.
And as human beings, as we produce, we need to be thinking
It
of
takes
the,
close to 400 years, perhaps more,
yes,
for plastics
yes,
to
over
decompose.
1,000 years.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's dangerous.
Yeah.
So, what is it that has been a problem? You spoke about 2007. It's 2015 now.
Yeah.
It's more than 5, 6, 7 years, maybe 10, if you like. Is it a unwillingness of politicians, who try to do blame game and then in the event try and shirk and shrink the problem so they make it a trivial issue? Or is it just as a people who are not pressurizing them, as much to perform their duty that we assign them to perform?
It has a very general perspective because we deal with issues as and when they confront us to the
With
extreme.
reactionary methods
Yes,
as opposed to being
yes,
proactive.
Yes, and because we have done a lot. This stakeholder group has done a lot. I mean, we have advised government to bring about segregation of waste at the household level. We have advised government to bring in oxo biodegradable plastics. We have advised government to do enforcement of bylaws. We have done all these. But you see, when it has not gotten to the point where the people will say enough is enough, then there is that kind of tendency.
Must the people say enough is enough? The duty bearers have the authority to crack the whip.
But you see, that's why I say the duty bearers are part of the people. The citizens, the ordinary
Are they
citizens.
part of the problem too?
Yeah, we are all part of the problem.
No, I'm not.
You see, we are all part of the problem. The reason why I say you can, in your singular effort, try not to litter.
Okay.
But maybe your uncle, your brother, something might be littering. And so we must all accept responsibility so that we will be more conscious in advocating for some of these things. And when I say the people, I mean the generality of all of us say, no, this is enough. And when we say this is enough, it's really enough. Then we will find solutions to that.
We've seen so much, caused by plastics already. We've seen floods, we've seen fire, we've seen filth engulf the city and elsewhere. We've seen lives lost, we've seen businesses go down the drain. We've seen people's dreams shattered and never came back. We've seen banks refuse to give people loans because they say the businesses that they want to, go in has no lifespan and plastics will come and destroy it and all of that. Is that not enough proof for us?
Yeah, that is enough. That is why the president, out of that bit of frustration, says that if we are not able to find an alternative, then we're going to place a ban. Then the Ministry of Environment takes a cue from there and gives those two directives that we ban 20 micron and below, and then we introduce oxo-biodegradable.
When that thing was banned, I think it was a jerky decision because it was banned, and from July to this point, we still have it. I mean, this is below 20 microns. You brought it.
Yeah.
So it's still on the market. It's not as if it's vanished from the market.
No, you see.
So it's just lip service that we pay to these
No,
things.
basically, the directive was that, because a lot of plastics have already been produced. So to avoid the reactionary and not thinking about the process carefully, the ministry said, okay, let us give the stakeholders enough time. So he said from 1st November.
Okay.
So by that time, you should have exhausted your stock. Then we go into, but even then, like we started saying, the 20 micron weight has been suspended. So the focus now is on the oxo.
We'll talk about the OXO very soon. I see you brought some things to demonstrate, but I want us to work this a bit more. As a South African country, Uganda, in Kigali, when you get to Kigali airport and you have plastic, they take it and give you paper bags instead. Can we do a similar thing here, or we're just reluctant to do it because somebody knows somebody who is somebody in a big position who's selling plastics and cannot just crack the whip?
You see, before you take a decision like that, you need to do a lot of analysis and a lot of research.
Let's work with the example of Kigali.
Yes, we have looked at all that.
Okay.
But the truth of the matter is that even the scientific analysis shows that paper is more environmentally dangerous than plastics. Let me go into it a little bit more. You see, the process it takes to produce paper. Do not forget that paper comes from trees.
Wood, yeah, trees.
And then we're talking about climate change. And then we are talking about carbon dioxide. And so at the end of the day, if we say even our focus is on paper, and then our attitude towards the paper is that we use it and just throw it away and then we don't recycle it, it will even become more catastrophic than the plastics. So we have looked at that. That is why we say that if we can recycle our plastics, if we can introduce technology that will make the plastic degrade like trees, then plastic is a better alternative. So basically these are the dimensions. And when you're taking a decision, a holistic decision for a nation, you don't have to just refer to what Kigali has done. Because I will inform you that surrounding countries, like Ivory Coast, Burkina Faso, they even started to introduce the oxo-biodegradable plastic. But you see, the process of implementation was flawed, such that you could not know which kind of oxo-biodegradable plastic a manufacturer has used. And these are serious flaws.
Are we doing anything different?
Yeah, we are doing something much more different. When we get to that, we will...
Sure. My guest is Kranchini Adama Tete. He's a Programs Director for the Plastic Waste Management Project here in Ghana. You send your WhatsApp messages 050-723-7337. Make sure you add your name and your location and go straight to the point. 050-723-7337. Your questions, your comments, and your suggestions we can share with the rest of the wonderful world. Also, you can get on our Facebook page, TV Africa GH, Instagram, Twitter. Make sure you hashtag the comments Daybreak and we'll share it with the rest of the wonderful world. Thank you very much indeed for watching. Now, I'm looking at recycling, which you mentioned not so long ago. And you find that these days people go around collecting plastics, gathering them and going to weigh them for recycling. Reports we picked is that the incentive that they get for bringing back the waste is not encouraging. So these days people are giving up. Do you think, as a country, as serious as we claim to be about this kind of menace, do we need to up our game in that direction, where we get so much for the trash that people bring?
Yes, we seriously need to up our game. You see, the stakeholders, once again, advised the government way back in 2011 that there's a need to introduce a financial incentive,
Okay.
which cannot be
Okay.
a piecemeal contribution by private stakeholders
Okay.
in the form of corporate social responsibility. So government needs to impose a tax
Okay.
on plastic imports.
Okay.
This was done way back in 2011.
True.
And so we said that that tax should be put into something that is to be called the Plastic Waste Recycling Fund. Like we have the GET Fund, like we have the Road Fund,
True.
so that initiatives such as this could just start from that fund
Okay.
to catapult the process of recycling.
Okay.
Unfortunately, even though the tax has been collected,
Okay.
the fund has not been set up. And we know that it has accumulated.
What is
over-
holding the fund?
Yeah, we have had serious engagement with the Ministry of Finance.
Okay.
And they said, there are technicalities, but in fact, we are completely against that.
Technicalities like
because
what?
you didn't have technicalities in imposing the tax.
Okay.
Why then do you
have
have
technicality
technicalities
in
setting
disbursing
up
the money?
Yes. So we had a promise during one of our engagements that come this November,
Who made a promise?
Dr. Nabisian of
Okay,
the Ministry
okay,
of Finance
okay.
that they were going to set something aside in the budget
Okay.
for plastic waste recycling. You see,
The
because
budget is going to be read tomorrow.
yes, so
So if you don't see anything, what would you do?
Yeah, we start the engagement again.
Okay.
Basically, we cannot leave recycling to market forces
Okay.
where it is only profit and loss. Because if the recycler is not making profit,
Okay.
he will stop collecting, he will stop buying the plastics from the collector.
Yeah.
And if the collector is also not making profits, he will shift to another business.
True.
So we need to have a stabilization mechanism where when the market forces are going down, like we do with cocoa or any of those products,
Yeah.
our institution or any other institution can stockpile the plastics
Okay.
because the prices of plastics also fall on the world market because
Okay.
plastics are related to oil.
Okay.
So when the prices of oil go down,
Okay.
then it means that the value of the recycled plastics will go down. It means that the manufacturer would want to use the virgin material
Okay.
than using the recycled.
Recycled,
So
okay.
these are some of the dynamics that we have tried to explain. Of course, I think that we are making progress. If we are making progress. If you are talking about issues like this, you shouldn't be too much in a hurry to get frustrated. You need to know that it's a
But
lifelong.
4-5 years is quite some time.
Yeah.
Yes.
4 or 5 long is quite some time.
Yeah.
But what can you do? You need to persevere. You need to persist until we make a better day.
Now there's good news. There's the introduction of the oxo biodegradable plastic.
Yeah.
What is it? We've been talking about it for some time now. What is it?
Yeah, the oxo biodegradable plastic is basically plastic that has been advanced to rot, like banana or like the leaf or anything. It has been made in such a way that the plastic can rot.
Okay.
That is the oxo. When it is exposed to the environment, the oxygen.
It's like a GMO plastic.
Yeah, kind of. So the plastics will just rot.
Okay.
You know, that is the whole idea. I just want to say it in very simple terms
So people can
for
understand.
people to understand. The oxo biodegradable plastic is plastic that has been made to rot.
Okay.
And what happens is that this is the normal plastic resin.
Okay.
This one
Okay.
is what is used for the plastics
Okay.
in the production of the plastic.
Okay.
So this is melted and it turns into the film.
Okay.
And sometimes color is added
Okay.
to a particular color that you want. When you are producing this,
Okay.
you use 99% of this.
Okay.
Then this is the oxo biodegradable additive.
Okay.
So you use just 1% of this
Okay.
together with this,
Okay.
and then you have your oxo biodegradable plastic.
Okay. Okay.
So you use
as opposed to using just the white one,
Yeah.
you add a bit of the colored
the
one to it.
additive.
Okay.
It doesn't necessarily have to be this color.
Okay.
But the additive, the
Okay.
oxo biodegradable additive.
Okay.
And that makes the plastic oxo biodegradable plastic.
Okay. So How different is it really from, I mean, you mentioned that it's been made to rot.
Yeah.
How, ordinary plastic takes close to 1,000,
Yeah,
maybe more,
maybe
to
more.
rot. How long does it take this to rot?
Good. You see, that is the most interesting bit of it. And I want to speak in very simple terms for everybody to understand. You can make it to degrade in 3 months.
Okay.
You can make it to degrade in 4 months. You
Okay.
can make it to degrade in 7 months.
Okay.
What Ghana has adopted,
3, 4, 7.
yeah, you can make it to degrade in 2 years.
Okay.
What Ghana has adopted now is to make the plastics to degrade in a total period of 7 months.
Okay.
And for the total period of 7 months, you're using 3 months
Okay.
as a shelf life. And
Okay.
once again, the sachet water was used as the reference point. So you make the sachet water, and it is supposed to exist for 3 months.
Yeah.
Then after 3 months, when it has been exposed to the environment or it has been littered,
Okay.
it is supposed to degrade within 4 months. So something that is supposed to degrade over 1,000 years has now been reduced to degrade within
4 months.
within
7
7 months in total.
Okay.
So that is the whole beauty of the oxo biodegradable additive.
Behind the beauty, are we not looking at, promoting littering of society? Because if I know that I buy this and in 7 months it would be gone, I'll just throw it away because I know 7 months nature will take it away.
No, you see, in dealing with waste particularly, you don't only look at one aspect of the waste. You and one aspect of the solution, because definitely some of the waste will find itself into the environment.
Okay.
I mean, you cannot get 100% waste collected. Some will get into the environment. So you deal with those that get into the environment from that perspective.
Okay.
And one of the fortunate things also is that the oxo biodegradable additive that Ghana has adopted can be recycled.
Okay.
You see, so recycling is still possible for the collector to collect,
Okay.
and then he can sell to the recycling company to recycle. So it doesn't change anything.
Okay.
Then you have to continue your enforcement of bylaws,
Okay.
because people will litter if you don't enforce your bylaws. You know, so you
True.
need to continue enforcing your bylaws, and then you need to do segregation of waste at the household level.
Okay.
So you need to segregate your waste at the household level. So you need to do all these things before you can get what you call integrated plastic waste management.
Okay.
So you need to do all.
We live in a country where even the ordinary waste that we gather takes maybe 3 months for them to come and collect it, and you're talking about segregation of.
Yeah. Because once again, like you said, we cannot be static. We
Okay.
need to move.
Okay.
And those of us who advocate need to persevere to ensure that the solutions are arrived at.
All right. Good morning, caller. Hello. Good morning.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Your name and location,
Yeah,
please.
I want to talk about it.
Okay. Talk to me. I think we lost the caller there. Well, forgive me. So, recently the FDA identified that some people had Sudan dye in palm oil. How do we know the type that is being used and whether it's not a poisonous version of this one?
Okay.
And how accessible would it be to the manufacturers?
Good. We started this whole engagement on the oxo biodegradable plastics somewhere in 2010.
Yes, I remember.
So
Then it died out.
yeah,
We
then it
didn't
died
hear
out.
anything
Yeah,
more.
then it resurrected. You see, so within that process, it was tested by the Ghana Standards Board.
Okay.
It was tested again in the UK at the Wells Plastics, because they produce the oxo biodegradable additive, this one, that is called Rivet.
Okay.
So it was tested in all these processes. Then all those information were put on the shelf.
Okay.
Then when this issue came up again,
Okay.
then we said, okay, let us look at the reports that were generated in those days. So fortunately, it usually takes about 7 to 1 year before you can go through the testing process.
Okay.
So if not because these tests have been conducted already by the Ghana Standards Board and the Wells Plastics in the UK,
Okay.
it would have taken us 7 months to 1 year
Okay.
before we could have implemented this whole
Okay.
directive.
Okay.
But fortunately, the tests have been conducted already, so the reports were referred to,
Okay.
and then we were sure that we have an oxo biodegradable additive
Okay.
that has already been tested. And it is not only the Ghana Standards Board; it has tested by the American standards
Okay.
and the UK standards
Okay.
to ensure that these things are food grade. Because when you use this to produce sachet water plastic,
okay.
it is going to have direct contact with food.
Yeah.
And then also, if you are not sure about the stabilization, because when you produce the sachet water, it needs to stay for a period.
A period. Good.
So,
True.
so you need a stabilization material.
True. Good morning, caller. 1 minute. Good morning. Take some Fruitelli. Good morning, caller. Hello, caller.
Good morning.
Good morning. Your name and location, please.
My name is King from Gambaga.
Okay, Gambaga King, talk to me.
Yeah, my main problem is when you move out of Accra and you check the environment, when you are moving all over, you won't even get one dustbin that you will put even any sachet water that you have drank.
Okay.
You will be walking whilst you find a small refuse people have put. You have to get it there because there is no place that you even have to
Okay.
put your things in.
Okay.
Which is very bad. They are all things that have made the Accra so polluted with rubbish and other things. So even still, if the things have been decomposed
Okay.
or for the period of time in Accra or in the environment, and
Okay.
there are no places for people to be putting them in,
Okay.
we'll still see them around for a longer period of time before they go
All right.
off into the environment.
Okay, thank you very much, King. Thank you. King talks about the unavailability of waste bins to outside Accra, and I share his sentiment because I travel a lot, and you get out of Accra, if for example around Afienya heading on to that part of town, you don't see nothing. You get out of Accra, you go past Ayimensa, you enter Abri, you don't see nothing. You get past Accra, you go towards Kaswa, you get past Biriwa, you don't see nothing, and you wonder why. Why is that so?
Yeah, that is why I mentioned that these things cannot be done through corporate social responsibility of private companies.
Okay.
They'll do one bit for maybe a month and then they stop.
Okay.
So you need a sustained kind of financing. That is why we advocated for the setting up of the plastic waste recycling fund, so that consistently you can have a system of financing, because we mounted bins, if you remember, yellow and green bins.
Exactly, yellow.
To try to promote the segregation of waste in the public places.
It vanished when the government changed. Hold on. Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, sir. Talk to me.
Yeah, I'm calling from Tamale.
Yes, what is your name, my brother?
Yeah, I'm calling from Tamale.
Yes, what is your name, my brother?
I'm calling right here.
Okay, Rahim, Tamale, talk to me.
I'm going to ask the man a question.
Please do, ask him.
The question is, how affordable will it be?
Affordability.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, Rahim. Thank you. We'll ask him. He's talking about affordability. But before, you were talking about the waste bins. And I say that after the government changed, the waste bins vanished.
No, it didn't change with government. The problem was that people were stealing the litter bins.
For what?
For whatever, when you have the metal part,
Okay.
and then you have the plastic part.
Yeah.
The metal parts were being stolen by scrap dealers. And then the plastic part, which is a container, were being stolen by people using them in their households.
Wow.
And even some of the waste contractors, the waste contractors, their agents, when they go around to sweep, instead of having their own receptacle to collect the plastic, they just remove that one, collect their waste in, and then put it on their truck and drive it away. So you see, in our latest engagement with the Ministry of Environment, we said that we're going to put CCTV cameras along these streets to monitor these litter bins.
We failed in that direction even for traffic.
Yeah. So, but what I'm saying is that you need a very concerted system to deal. You don't have to leave
but
it in
where
the
even you take your national ID to a bank and the bank tells you they are not logged onto the system, you want to put CCTV to check ball accounts.
No.
Hello, good morning. Yes, sir. Good morning.
Hello.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you, my brother?
Fine, thank you.
Okay, your name and location, please.
Yes, my name is Arakito, and I'm calling from Washington.
Okay, talk to me.
Yeah. Please, I want to find out the very debatable additives
is it applicable to the water containers that have been manufactured?
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. He wants to find out the water tank and all those parts.
Yes,
Is it applicable?
Polytanks.
Yes.
We're not focusing on that. We are focusing on the film.
I'm just thinking if you manufacture polytanks, that can be great.
We're not focusing on that. We are focusing on the film.
Okay.
That is specifically, for example, the sachet water.
Okay.
So that is why. So the additive that has been passed, can stabilize the sachet water plastic for 3 months.
Okay.
Thereafter, when it is exposed into the environment,
Okay.
then it begins to degrade.
Okay, so-
Somebody asked about affordability.
Exactly.
You know, I explained earlier that you need only 1% of this rivet additive
yeah.
to add to the 99%
Okay.
of the normal
Great.
resin.
Great.
So the cost implications has been calculated to be around 3 to 5%.
Okay.
So
of the total cost.
Of the total cost.
Okay.
So if you are producing mass volumes
Okay.
of plastics, 3
Your-
to
your
5%.
overheads,
But if we're looking at the environmental challenges that we face with plastics,
Okay.
and we are looking at 3 to 5% more to pay to ensure that the plastics will degrade,
Okay.
then it is no problem at all.
True.
Because if you go to the beach now and you are swimming, you will see plastics flying all over.
Yeah.
And you know this can easily choke somebody to that.
Exactly.
To death.
Exactly.
So these are some of the things that we
It
need
nearly
to
killed Felix the other time.
You know,
Yeah.
so basically the cost implication is just 3 to 5%. And then you only need 1% of the additive to
You added a
to-
black element to it.
Yeah.
What is that? It's also
Yeah.
a bit softer than
Yeah.
the regular.
The sachet water that is collected,
Okay.
that you see in bags
Okay.
on trucks, that are being transported to the recycling
Okay.
company.
Okay.
When it has been recycled, this is what you get.
Okay.
So this is the recycled pellet,
Okay.
and this is the virgin pellets,
Okay.
and then this is the
Biodegradable. Okay.
oxo
Okay.
rivet oxo biodegradable additive.
Okay.
So I just brought this one so that we
So
can
we would
have,
see-
we
we
can
have a
have a
clear-
feel of what these things are.
I'm concerned about the edibility because if you have children who, for example,